Queens Quay revitalization is really about transforming what is now kind of an arterial road that processes a lot of traffic and making it into a spectacular place. Our goal with this project is to make Queens Quay one of the 10 greatest streets in the world. When you go to Barcelona, you say, I have to walk the Ramblas. When you go to Paris, you say, I have to walk the Champs-Élysées. We want it to be, when you come to Toronto, I have to walk Queens Quay. I have to see that street.
Queens Quay was for me a concrete valley, an area where you don't want to be, an area where you just want to go as soon as possible and as fast as possible from point A to point B. And that will all changing.
So the Queens Quay revitalization is really going to be done in phases. And the first phase is what we're building now. That goes from approximately Spadina all the way to Bay Street. So it's about 1.5 kilometers that we will be completely remaking the street in. We are in stage one right now of the construction, so we're rebuilding all of the deep services, which is in some ways the hardest work, the nastiest, the noisiest. The site looks very messy right now, but it is actually one of the most highly coordinated street reconstruction projects that's been done in Toronto. So it's stuff that has to really be done carefully and be done right. It's a bit like doing open heart surgery. You've got to keep the patient alive, you've got to keep all the buildings powered up, you've got to keep the traffic moving through there, but you're rebuilding the whole thing at the same time.
Waterfront Toronto has conducted many public meetings right through the whole process. Now that construction's underway, I find the weekly bulletins really helpful, knowing what's going to happen, where my bus stop's going to be this week, why they're digging up my side of the street and why the traffic's been switched over, and all of those kinds of details. So it's really helpful.
The project has gone a long way to include everybody. It's thought about how people live and how do they get from A to B and or what do they want to do.
The biggest feature is the 13-meter zone of the promenade that will be only dedicated for pedestrians and bikers. And that will be the place where people will walk, will hang out, will sit on a terrace, and life will come to the waterfront. That's the place where you want to be.
Construction is never easy to live through. It is disruptive by its nature, but the project that we're doing is going to really transform, I think, not just our waterfront, but how our waterfront is perceived by the province, by the country, and by the world. And it really is going to make a spectacular waterfront, one that people have been asking for in this city for decades and decades. We ask everyone to bear with us. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done as fast as we can, and we're going to love it when it's finished.